Well, hi there, everybody. It's Mary Beth Eversole, the allergy actress, and it's Labor Day. That's right, the day to celebrate workers in America, and well, honestly, workers around the world, although it is an American holiday. But yeah, what better way to celebrate Labor Day than with like treats and getting together and celebrating and making food fun for everyone. So today, I thought I would add on to one of the recipes I gave you guys earlier. Remember the toasted marshmallow recipe? Yes, well today, I thought it would be great to add to that and make graham crackers that are soy-free and gluten-free and all of that greatness, corn-free, so that you could put it with those marshmallows and maybe a little bit of soy-free chocolate and have yourself a fantastic s'mores. Today will just be the graham cracker part, but you know, chocolate's easy to find at your local grocery store, and I have to get soy lecithin-free chocolate, but those can be found at any allergy-friendly grocery store anywhere in America. So, yay! Graham crackers, Labor Day, here we go! Okay guys, so the first thing is this flour mix over here. Now I have a little sub clip on the channel that is this flour mix, and it basically has millet flour, sorghum flour, potato starch, coconut flour, and guar gum in it, and those are all mixed together in this little flour here. And for this recipe, you need 1 1/4 cups of this flour mix. It's a great flour mix for people who have allergies to soy or actually rice. It's rice-free as well. However, we get rid of that whole rice idea when we go over here because we also need 1 cup of brown rice flour. However, if you want to substitute something like amaranth flour, that's a great one to substitute. So that's 1 cup of brown rice flour. And then 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Now, don't mix that up with the baking powder that we're also going to include. The baking soda is less, 1/2 teaspoon. The baking powder, and that is gluten-free baking powder and also corn-free baking powder, is 1 teaspoon, okay? 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Otherwise, your graham crackers are going to look a little weird, okay? We also need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and we need 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, one of my favorites. And then we're going to use 1/3 cup of coconut oil, and that's room temperature, melted down. And then you're going to have 3 tablespoons of the dairy-free vegan buttery spread. And then we're going to do 3 tablespoons of honey. And I'm sure you could substitute agave if you choose to do that instead. And then 1 teaspoon of the gluten-free vanilla. And then 1/4 cup of rice milk. And again, if rice is a problem for you, you can always substitute a nut milk. Like I like cashew milk because it's a little bit closer to the consistency of rice milk, whereas some of the other nut milks are a little thicker. And then you want to have 2 to 4 tablespoons of just cold water, and that we will be adding a little bit at a time into our recipe. All right, on to the main event. All right, guys, so first things first, you got to mix the dry ingredients together. So you can either do it in a large bowl with a whisk, or you can do it with your food processor because it mixes things together so nicely. Yay! Okay, so you're going to take your flour mix, ta-da, and you're going to dump it in. And then, of course, the 1 cup of brown rice flour. And again, you can use amaranth flour or really just any flour that has same consistency as brown rice flour. And a little bit on the sweet side is what that is. And then you're going to put in your brown sugar. And then comes the baking soda. That's the lesser amount, the 1/2 teaspoon. And then your baking powder, that's the larger amount. And then salt, oh, salt. And then, cinnamon. Okay, and in it goes. And here comes my favorite part, you guys. Ready? And then it's mixed, and that is that, you guys. So easy. So on to the next step. Step 2, my peeps. All right, this is getting some of the wet ingredients combined. So you're going to need a small saucepan. This is a medium-sized saucepan, but my small one broke. So medium size. Light it. You're going to put it on low. And you are going to put in the coconut oil. And you're going to put in the honey. Honey! Or it could be agave. And, oh, sticky, sticky honey. And then you're going to put in the margarine. And you are going to cook this on low until it is well combined and everything is melted. So, while we're doing that, I'll tell you a little bit more about Labor Day. So Labor Day came around during the Industrial Revolution when working conditions were just dismal, awful. Like even children 5, 6 years old were working, and it was just ridiculous conditions. So labor unions developed, and people started fighting back and striking and things like that. And they actually, there was some violence involved, but there were people who were like, there's got to be a better way. So they organized a march, and 10,000 workers, organized by the labor unions, marched in New York City. They marched from City Hall to Union Square in like 1882, I think. It was September 5th, which, you know, usually Labor Day is around the first Monday, is on the first Monday of September. So, and it was the first Labor Day parade, and from there on, you know, people started celebrating it every year. Workers would just take it off, and finally the government recognized it about 12 years later and made it a national holiday. So that's really cool. And I mean, Labor Day is also not only celebration of workers and you know, the working person's strife and their hard work and their achievements, but it's also a symbol of the end of summer. Sorry, summer people. Yay, fall! Fall's coming. Okay, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just, it's a fun day to get together and, like I said, celebrate. And I just want to make it so that everyone can enjoy food and enjoy it together. Like, this is not going to taste like, oh, it's gluten-free. This is going to be, like, amazing. These graham crackers are like, mwah. Now is the time to put the liquids with the dry ingredients. So here we go. So that little mixture that we did on the stove, that goes in, and then we're going to mix it together. Just put the sink there. And I also want you to put in the vanilla. And then also the rice milk. Again, try cashew milk if you can't do rice milk. Go figure. Woo! Here we go. Alright, let's pulse. Okay, so now it's turned into like little sandy pebble thingies, okay? And it's still a little dry on top, so now we start adding our water. So we're going to do about half of the water. And leave the other half. And then we're going to mix it again and see how that does. And I will say, when I used to bake in Colorado, sometimes it took more water than even 4 teaspoons. So you just got to eyeball it until it makes a firm dough, but it's not dry and it's not too sticky wet, okay? And here's that. A good indication when you're using a food processor is when the dough is firm, it will all like ball up on one side of the food processor. So we're almost there, but we need a little bit more. Let's try that. There we go. Now it's starting to ball up. See how that's like all on one side? So that's a good indicator that that's almost done. Let me see. Pretty good. A little dry. So I'm just going to add the rest of the water. And that is perfect. That is what we want. So this, for me, took all 4 teaspoons of the water. And like I said, if you're at high altitude, you may have to add more. So that's all. Okay, now what you do with this dough is you take it out of the food processor. You put it in, you can either put it in a bowl or just wrap it in some saran wrap. And you put it in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours to cool. and then we'll come back, we'll roll it up, and we'll bake it, and it'll be so tasty. Yum! All right, we have been in the refrigerator for several hours, and we are out now. So now you're gonna put the dough between 2 pieces of wax paper. I use natural wax paper, so here it is. And you also want to have a cookie sheet, well, a couple cookie sheets with parchment paper. You're going to need a fork, and you're going to need something to cut the graham crackers into squares with. So whether that be a pizza cutter or a knife or whatever. So then you just roll, and you're going to roll until it's super, super flat. So you might have to, because it's kind of been in the fridge for a while, you may have to smash it down a little bit. And I always do this because the wax paper likes to move. So I'll put the wax paper and I'll lean against it, against my counter, and that helps a lot. You want to roll it out to about half an inch thick, and then you're going to cut it into basically 2-inch squares. Sometimes I like to make mine a little bigger, but 2 inches works. And then you want to poke it with holes. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like when that's all done. Okay, peeps, now I want to show you what I did. They are all cut out and poked with a fork to look like graham crackers. You can see that. And you say, Mary Beth, what do I do if I've rolled it out and it's kind of uneven on the edges, so when I cut it there's all this extra? Well, the dough tastes really good, so if you want to eat it, great, because there's no eggs in it. Or you can piece them together, because usually when I roll it out, they kind of like one half fits with the other half, so then you get like a not so pretty batch. But I gotta tell you, they may not look so good, but boy do they taste just as good. So you're gonna pop these in the oven for about 20 to 30 minutes, okay? And then you'll check on them. They're gonna brown slightly, but don't make sure they're not too dark, okay? Yeah, they won't change in shape very much. So yeah, they'll just be really, really tasty. I'm looking forward to showing you. Okay, see you on the other side. Now it's time to taste it. They've been cooling for a little bit. I only cooked mine for about 22 minutes and they were ready. So yeah, we'll just take this one. We'll try it. I know how these taste. I've made them a lot. And they're so good. And they're not just good with s'mores. They're great with peanut butter. They're great with peanut butter and honey. Oh, so good. Anyway, whatever you do this Labor Day, I hope you get to spend it with family and friends and really celebrate the work that we all put into life. So, happy Labor Day from Allergy Actress Cooking. This is Mary Beth Eversole, the Allergy Actress, signing off for now.